family-operated business. That's his income.
Madam Chairman, can I?
Yes, please.
It's not about the tint, but it's actually, as to what Attorney L'Esperance just said about complaints. There have been complaints, and I was going to bring them up at that last meeting. I did bring them up before the board. We received a number of complaints of products, tobacco products being used in there and being sold in there, stored and sold in there. Well, at the Malecon and the Euphoria. We've also received a number of complaints. In fact, there's a couple of reports coming over from, for the Euphoria in regards to events being held there the last couple of weekends. And in regards to that, I know you have been scheduling events there. And I had a question in regards to the reservations, because you see the posters for the events. How do you schedule or control the crowds for those?
You can answer that. I'm sorry? Lieutenant asked how you
Yes,
control
go ahead,
the
I'm sorry,
crowds.
say that again?
How do you schedule or control the reservations in advance for them?
They call me and I reserve,
Well, but if you
but I
read
don't
the,
charge for them.
if you read the posters list all the promoters' phone numbers, and that's who is looking to schedule and take names and reservations for VIP tables and whatnot. Are you relinquishing that control
Yes, sir.
to the promoters?
No, I control everything. Everything goes through me.
But you're not listed, your number and your contact information is not listed on those promotional posters. It's several other, 3 other numbers for DJs or production companies, and those are who they contact. So I'm asking you, how does that information get to you?
They have to communicate to me once they get it. I have a floor plan, I can show you everything.
So they take names and numbers, whatever, and pass it
And
on
they
to
just
you?
communicate it to me.
Okay. And in regards to the tobacco products,
My cameras record over 90 days. I could give you any recordings you would like.
again, I'm just telling, we got complaints at the police department.
And there has
Number of
been,
complaints.
there's
I'm just asking if, whether or not you're actually using or selling them. That's what I'm asking.
no, sir.
Okay, so you understand that they're against
No. Oh, yes, sir.
not only a license, but also several other health ordinances in the city?
Yes, sir, very, very clear of that. Like I said, sir, if you like, I'll give you my cameras anytime. They go all the way back to 90 days.
Okay, thank you.
You know what? I just have a little problem with the mail. You're a businessman.
Yes.
Your bill's coming through the mail. How can you not have access to your mailbox?
If you notice, if you drive by Malecon or Euphoria, the mails used to get thrown on the floor. We put a mailbox. We lost the key during the pandemic, so we will go in through the top and hold it. But if there's something inside, we won't be able to get to the bottom. So we changed that problem. We ripped the whole thing apart and put a new one.
I know, but I just think like the first day you noticed that the mailbox was broken, why didn't you break it open and replace it with a new one?
I agree. That is my fault.
Kristen, do you have anybody else helping you, like manage the place? Or?
Yes, we're going to make changes to management at Malecon and ownership soon.
And I see in the security company that you have to secure the place. How many people do you have to secure each place?
Well, right now it's been very tough because we don't know when we're going to do good and bad. But usually we would like anywhere between 4 to 6 securities just for Malecon. Euphoria 10.
Are you selling the business?
Yes, madam. Malecon. I'm having health issues and I can't deal with a lot of things. But that's personal.
Hmm.
I agree, but I still feel a 7-day suspension is in order for failure to appear. I mean, that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's the least that should happen, but I'm willing to, I understand you're just trying to get back on your feet and whatnot. I mean, this is not our first encounter
I agree.
together with issues, so
I agree with you.
7 days, that's how I don't know how anybody else feels about it.
Is that in the form of a motion?
Well, I will entertain a motion.
Okay,
I don't want to
I'll,
be the one to make the motion, because I don't want
Okay.
anyone to think that,
Okay.
you know, we don't all have equal say in this.
What I like to say in lieu of, because he was sick and the place was closed, then we just do 3 days. Considering that, you know, he has followed up with what he needed to do.
He's what?
He has done what he needed to do. It took a little while.
Finally, I mean, again, this has been going on since December of 2019. I mean, it will be 2 years this coming December. And the fact that we're still dealing with establishments, and unfortunately, I hate to say it, but it's only got 2 establishments now. And we addressed this with you in person. That's what's got me so upset. I mean, in person. It's not as if he's had to just rely upon written correspondence. Verbally, he has been told this needed to be done, and it wasn't done. And I just think because of past history, at least a 7-day is warranted.
And also, I think that you weren't the only restaurant, bar in the city. I mean, there were many that had their windows blocked, and everybody complied. I mean, they probably didn't like it, but they did. And I think that, you know, we did this because it impedes the health and safety of everyone, of all the citizens of Lynn, and that's why it's done this way. So I'm sorry, I have to agree with Ms. Barton that it's a 7-day. And I'd like to make a motion that we do a 7-day suspension of your license.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye, okay.
You wouldn't entertain holding it in abeyance, Madam Chairwoman? I believe we have a hearing coming up in a couple of weeks on the 17th. Perhaps we could hold it till then, until we...
A hearing for, am I missing something? That has nothing to do with El Malecon. It was my understanding you wanted to take these separately. Yeah, so we're dealing with El Malecon, that's my understanding. So, I don't think it should be held in abeyance. I just think it's 7 days, and 7 days is 7 days.
Effective when?
Effective today, how's that?
Okay, this counts as the first day?
Yes, it does.
So he can reopen on the 10th?
Tuesday.
So we're all
On Tuesday. On Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday will be 7 days. It can be open on Tuesday. Yep. Okay, moving right along to Euphoria. You still haven't complied with the regulations. With people, you still can't see in, nor can folks see out.
There is no tint on Euphoria. It happens to be wooden door. The landlord hasn't
Well,
budged in any way. He doesn't want to change anything. I have to come up with it out of my pocket, and I was closed for 15 months. Euphoria has no kitchen. So during the pandemic, I couldn't open. Before the pandemic, I was punished for 30 days. So that counts for 15 months. So it would cost me nearly $4,000 to put a new frame and glass and glass doors. money that I don't have at this moment.
Okay. I fully understand that. But again, you have known since December of 2019 that this was an issue that needed to be addressed. And it wasn't addressed, and it hasn't been addressed, and it's still a public safety issue. If you have to close until you can meet the regulations, then you're going to have to close.
How am I? Oh, okay.
I mean, it's as simple as that. It's a safety issue. And there are issues going on at this particular establishment. I don't know what to tell you, except you will have to remain closed until you can meet the regulations.
Krista, do you have any windows?
Windows have no tints. There's 2 doors, 2 windows, and a big window. No tints whatsoever.
Right.
We could all go there right now.
There's 2 doors,
Mm-hmm.
right?
2.
And there's no windows.
There's no windows.
There's no windows. So can those 2 doors be changed to glass?
Yes,
That's what I'm saying. It will cost me close to $4,000.
yes.
Because that's the only way they will be probably satisfied to look inside.
Exactly.
I know there's two set of doors in there.
The second, when you step in, the front door is glass.
Okay?
When you step into the second is wood. You have to change the whole frame and the structure and everything.
Mm-hmm. And that's looking into your
Into the
establishment.
place, yes.
So that,
But-
so that your patrons know what they're walking into, your police officers, when they have to go there, they know what they're walking into, and not only that, your patrons exiting can see what's happening so that they know what they're exiting out to. It's a safety issue, it has to be addressed.
There's no windows in the front of the building?
Nope.
Just the door.
Nope.
What
It's all
is-
cement and.
It's all cement? It's
Beautiful
all
doors.
concrete?
Don't get me wrong, beautiful doors, but you can't see. You can't see. And based upon some of these reports, I mean, just this latest one, gunfire going off. I mean, people want to see what they're walking out to. The police officers want to see what they're walking into. I mean, even your security people, it's not safe. It has to be addressed.
Can you give me at least 10 days? And I'll
Sure,
borrow money and
remain closed for those 10 days, and if you get it fixed, then you can be open. Because, I mean, if something happens in those 10 days, how foolish are we gonna look? Like 10 days, this could have been prevented. No, you have to remain closed.
I gotta find the money.
And again, that's my feel. I don't know how the rest of the board feels.
Well, it is a safety, and I don't want to go against security or anything like that. Because, Christian, you have to understand, if anything happens in there, after we give you the okay to operate, then we are liable. I visited Conga about 2 weeks ago because of the rumors of the other things with the vapors. And I was able to go inside. There was a good crowd, and they were all contained, plus plenty of security in the place. So he's doing the right thing. But still, this safety needs to be addressed.
You went to my establishment. What do you think about it?
No, I didn't have any complaint. They were not. Everybody was following directions. I was very impressed to see how the girls were serving the drinks. You know, they would come in, they will open the bottle, do it the proper way, and everything.
Did you see any tobacco use?
I did not. No, I did not see any
Okay.
of that. But again, the main point is the safety. And the way things are happening sometimes, we can be in church all day long and something might happen. So that doesn't give you 100% safety, even though you have all the security guards. But I'm proud to say that I did feel comfortable inside the place with the security guards, in there. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. have I seen anything? You know, maybe he had done exactly what I saw, but I was impressed the way the service was done. The crowd was handled properly, and you have just about the right amount of people in there. You were not like overselling, but it was okay. But the safety of the doors needs to be addressed.
Okay.
Anyone else have anything? Then I can entertain a motion that the Euphoria remain closed until they can come into compliance.
Who would check the compliance? The lieutenant or someone from ISD?
Yeah.
I can do that if
Lieutenant
you'd like.
Red Eagle.
I'll make a motion to have the Euphoria close its doors until the proper doors are installed.
Okay?
Take it off.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Right. Thank you. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, so then we have police reports.
The first one is 21500. That looks 00360. I don't think that number's wrong, but Ethos Dispensary, I think. Oh, at least in mine, the pages are a little off, but that's essentially, they called and filed a police report because they were missing, they did inventory, they were missing an eighth of cannabis valued at $60. So they're required to file a report, and they did so. There's no suspected, obviously they have an issue and they were addressing it, but,
Right.
and
Can I just ask you a question? Could that, I mean, are they saying that it was theft?
yeah, they believe it's theft because they do the inventory, it's missing, so
Okay.
they're
Couldn't
looking
have been
into
a mistake
whether
or-
it's employee theft or in fact, if someone came in and somehow got it. They're reviewing their cameras and whatnot, but it's, they don't have, they do routine audits as they're required to do, and they're not showing any pattern of, which you'd probably see if it was an employee
Yeah.
theft or wholesale, so they weren't quite sure what happened, but they
It
are.
couldn't have been like a mistaken dispensing or nothing?
It could have been that.
I was
It
just
could have been
curious.
some- Yeah, no, it
I'm
could have been that
just
someone
curious
gave
for my
out too much, or,
Yeah.
you know, it could be someone helping a friend out. It
Yeah.
could be any of those, but it's not a bigger problem that happens repeatedly. The next one
Trios.
is 210-47100. That's Trios, and that's a fight which occurred in the ladies' room in Trios, and then again outside in the parking lot. We did not get a call from Trios. It was a closing time. I did follow up with the reporting person that actually came to the station to report it. I did follow up with that person who informed me that it happened in the ladies' room, inside the ladies' room, and that she didn't want any drama in there, so she actually exited the ladies' room and felt pretty much that no one in the building would have been aware that it had happened inside there. They went outside, the confrontation occurred again in the parking lot, and they came to the station. So although they didn't call, I don't think the staff was actually aware of the fact that it took place in Trios. It was a concern of mine that they didn't call, but I did follow up on that, and the reporting person informed me of that.
Were there any arrests to that? Anybody got arrested?
No, there's a complaint being started. It's a past love triangle, I guess, basically, is what it's about. So they were going to resolve that. 210-47778. That was an intoxicated subject at 751 Linway, the green tea. I sent it. I don't have the narrative on this part, do you have? I believe it was, there was someone in there, I don't think they got, I have several from there, I don't recall the facts of it, and the narrative's not here with this packet, so, I don't know if you want to hold that off, I could resend it over for the next meeting. I'm just not sure whether, my only concern would be whether the person was in the establishment drinking prior to, and I know they had one where it was basically a person in a car outside that had never got in.
Right,
And I want to make sure that is not
okay.
this one. I think that's what it might be, that the person didn't get in there, they called because of someone outside in the vehicle, but
Okay,
I don't have the narrative on this packet.
all right.
And then 210477798, 877 Western Ave, which is the one, Korea Bar. And that was essentially someone that showed up there intoxicated, wanted to get served for food. They refused them service.
Good.
They called the police and showed up because he would not leave and gave the staff a hard time. He never was actually in there
Okay,
and got service. The last one, 21048-290, is the Euphoria, 130 Union Street. That was gunshots fired. It was actually a large brawl in the street where it looks like there were quite a number of people out there. There's actually video on it where two people got in an argument and then started shooting at each other
Jesus,
right out in the
that's
street.
crazy.
That is being worked on. There are some suspects in that. It was at closing time, so I think the people were outside the club. It didn't happen in the club. It doesn't look like it spilled out. It was actually just after closing time, and they were all out there in the street. There were some security from the Euphoria out there who did get involved and give some description. There was one other employee of Euphoria who gave the name of a potential suspect and helped out. But again, was outside. It was just after they had closed. The crowd left out. But it was as a result of, one of those events that they've been staging. They advertise online. You get these, and this is the problem we've had in the past with those type of events. You get those large crowds, and they come from all over, and then they linger outside of that club. The club did call. Mr. Dior actually was out there, did speak to the officers, and was cooperative, so, and helped as best that he could. And that's all the reports I have.
Okay. All right, on ethos, we're filing that.
Yeah. Was that
Trios,
for the file?
green tea.
He's going to get the narrative and we'll review it at our next meeting.
Okay. Juan Perillas,
For the files, no finding, yeah.
and Euphoria.
What's your recommendation regarding Euphoria?
I think in regards to that incident, I would file it, subject to recall, just based on, in the past, if nothing happens, they were cooperative, it was after closing.
Okay.
But in the past, what we've found is that as these locations have these events, this becomes a series of events
Okay,
that happen, and that at some point,
good, love it.
maybe it's subject to recall if it keeps happening.
Thank you. That's a good. So moved. You agree?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, yep. All set? For the file subject to recall.
File
Okay.
subject to
Yep.
recall.
Yep. Okay, and any new business?
Nope.
No communications?
Nope.
No old business? I think we've covered just about everything now. Okay, so,
Next meeting is
the third Tuesday. Okay,
17th.
17th, 5 o'clock, right? You have to work?
That will be fine, yes.
5 o'clock.
I don't want to say yes and then,
Okay, so 17th, 5 o'clock. And I think
If we-
we'll be back and run through
if,
those.
I'm gonna,
Okay,
I'm gonna
Okay.
check the schedule. If it can be done before, then I'll send you a text.
okay.
Because I
Okay
got a
with
schedule.
David?
I'm fine with 5.
You fine?
I'm fine, 5's fine, yep.
Pat,
It's just,
What if we have to? No, it's my bedtime. No,
Oh, it
I'm
is.
kidding.
oh, I don't, what about, I mean, a motion.
Always in order. A motion to adjourn?
Yes.
By the time I walk over here.
Let's go.
I'm working till 7.
That's our next meeting.
Yes.
Won't be here.
I won't be here.
She
Oh.
won't be here.
I don't know if that matters, but I won't.
Well,
Well,
son heard it.
Son's here, yeah.
Son's gonna be
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Okay, Mrs. Crowe.
Okay.
Doesn't mean he's gonna talk, he's gonna
Yes,
feel how
in
she
favor of,
feels.
Table.
Well, you
What are you
heard it.
gonna do? We got
I
alternates.
know,
That's what we have
right.
alternates for, right?